Hey Jacket Nation, this is Daniel Pons with the Byrd Football Channel, and today I am speaking with the longtime Byrd Football play-by-play announcer, the voice of the Yellow Jackets, Mr. Charlie Cavell. Hey Charlie, how's it going?
Good, Daniel. Thanks. Great to be with you.
Well listen, we just wanted to talk a little 2020 Byrd football with you. I know the pandemic has kind of thrown a wrench into everyone's operations, but I just wanted to sit down with you and ask a few questions. So let's start. Well, for those that are new to Byrd football, tell us a little bit about you, Charlie. Like, how long have you been doing Byrd play-by-play, and how did you actually get started with the program?
Well, this will be my 23rd season doing play-by-play. And probably somewhere 24, 25 overall involved with the broadcast.
Wow.
I started out when Byrd started doing radio with KWKH. Dave Nitz, who's the longtime voice of Louisiana Tech, and Terry Slack were doing the play-by-play in color. Well, Dave, I was working with Dave at the Shreveport Captains at the time, and he asked me if I'd be interested in helping him out. And so I said, yeah, absolutely. And so I would do a variety of things, either stats, sideline reporting, and when Terry wasn't there, I'd do color. And right about that time, way back when, is when Louisiana Tech went into the Western Athletic Conference. And so it got to a point where Dave wasn't able to be there because they were having to fly out to San Jose State or Hawaii or wherever, and so he wasn't able to do the games. And I was fortunate enough that Alan Carter, Mike Suggs, Lynn Fitzgerald, Archer Frierson, and the main folks with the city of Byrd helped me or trusted me enough to take over the play-by-play. And well, lo and behold, here I am 25 years later, still hanging around.
That's awesome, man. It really is. Well, it's obvious, you have a love of high school football, and I'm sure football in general, but what is it about the sport? What is it that excites you? Why football?
Well, one, football is the ultimate team sport. I know that's a cliche, but cliches are often used because they're true, and it is. You can have the greatest quarterback in the world, but if you don't have guys that can block for him, well, guess what? It's just going to be pretty average, right. And on and on and on. So it is the ultimate team sport. Football is, as I jokingly tell people, baseball's always been my first love, but football's always kind of like that sexy mistress that comes around every 6 months or so, and is really, really a lot of fun for about 5-6 months, and then it goes away. But high school football in particular for me, it is the purest form of football, right? Because most of the young men that are sweating their what's off every summer workout, every August fall training camp, they're never going to play football again past their senior year of high school. And so those young men are playing for themselves, they're playing for their school, they're playing to represent their friends and their family, and of course their school. But and that's why, because they're not getting paid, they're not on scholarship, and none of that. They're playing for the love of the game and to represent their family, friends, school, etc. Right. And it's just the passion and excitement that surround, and pageantry that surround high school football.
Yeah, man, I totally agree. I've enjoyed, I'm a baseball guy as well, and I'm still learning the game of football, but it's just a different feeling, they turn those Friday night lights on, and it's just, you can feel it, Anyway, so obviously you've seen many different Byrd teams over the years. How do you feel about this year's team?
Well, I'm very hopeful, and I've been very excited about the prospect of this Byrd team. I hate to use the word potential, because to me, I learned from Byrd baseball coach Greg Williams that potential is probably the worst word in the English language, because it's always followed by a big giant but. However, this team does have a lot. I've been pointing for about 2 to 3 years now to this class, this season, as the best opportunity for success that we've had in a couple of years. 2013, 2014, even 2015, but 2013, 2014 we went to the state championship. 2014 we were ranked number 1 in the state, undefeated in the regular season. Those teams had a lot of talent. Well, the talent in this junior, senior class particularly 3 years ago were freshmen, sophomores, and that's why I've been pointing to this year, because now they're juniors and seniors. And when you have an experienced team, most of those young men have been playing since their sophomore season. That usually goes a long, long way in high school football when you're matching up a young man that's a senior against someone who's a sophomore. That experience pays off. But the talent level in this class, is the senior class particularly, is, in my opinion, the highest it's been in a few years.
Totally agree. Well, speaking of that talented junior senior class, maybe putting you on the spot here, but tell me some players you're looking forward to watching play this year. Who do you think should have a standout year?
Well, I don't usually like to try to single out players, and I get what your question is, so I am going to answer it. Well, obviously, I mean, we've already had Carson Bruno, who's committed to Louisiana Tech. Lindsey, his dad, Coach Lindsey Bruno, and I have been knowing each other all the way back because we were in college together. Carson is projected to be an offensive lineman at Louisiana Tech, where he's playing defensive line for us, and because he's needed. Defensively, I'm really looking forward to seeing this defense, because I think they're going to be really good. I'm anxious to see who's going to fill in the spots at corner, because we lost our best corner back to graduation from last year in R.J. Poland. So who's going to be the next man up? Not awfully concerned about the front, the front six, front seven. With Carson and some of the other younger guys. Defensive end's a little bit of a question mark right now. I know we had a young man come over from Captain Shreve, so he's going to help out. But the linebackers, I mean, Junior Brown returns, and Junior's expected to have a kind of a breakout season. Sawyer Benson's going to step up, and I think that combination is going to be really great. Of course, on the back end, you've got Luke Militello and Chris Grider and of course Braden Hermes. So I think the defense is going to be pretty salty, pretty solid. Offensively, I really think with your son Logan at quarterback, plus Mitchell Ramsey, Denzel Thompson, and William Berry. That is going to give Byrd a 4-back attack. In years past, and what I mean by that is that any 4 of those young men can carry the football and carry the load and be the guy in that game. Where in years past, we may have only been a 2-back attack with 1 wing back and 1 fullback, or even the 3. Now, any of those 4 young men can take over a game with their speed and agility and ability and running style. And then you throw on the outside Kellum Humphrey. I mean, Coach Mike Suggs said last year when Kellum was still listed as the backup quarterback that we need to find a way to get him the ball more often and utilize his athletic ability and keep him on the field as much as we can. And so I think offensively, the skill position players, at least front line wise, will be there. Question mark, of course, will be the offensive line, if they can open up the holes and provide protection, but particularly opening up holes for the jacket rushing attack. And, people know what Byrd's going to do. And just can Byrd execute and hang on to the football and do what they do. I think overall the biggest concern for me is that Byrd has had a long, storied history, especially under Coach Mike Suggs, of having great field goal kickers, great place kickers. That's a question mark to me. Braden Hermes has been the long field goal kicker, but we haven't had a true standalone outstanding kicker in a couple of years now. And so the kicking game is a bit, Venzel returns as the punter. And so we'll have to just wait and see. But overall, I'm very excited about this ball club.
About Hermes, Logan made a point to me the other day that totally makes sense. We were talking about Hermes and kicking, and this is, keep in mind, our free safety, or guys running all over the field, and here it is, we call upon him to hey, take a minute and go kick a 35, 45-yard field goal. I mean, that's asking a lot. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, and that's why I say it, because on the flip side of that too, Venzel Thompson's toting the mail most of the time, and he's getting hit every play after play after play.
Right.
Whether
and here he is booming 40, 50-yard punts.
And then you're calling on him again to stay on the field on fourth down, where normally your fullback's off the field. You're not only to punt, but to field the punt and execute, and then who's fatigued because he is moving every play. That's why I was talking about having just one person who does either both punting and field goal kicking or place kicking and not a true position player. And we've had some great ones over the years: John Shaughnessy, Trent Wyrick, Jake Weiss, on and on, Hardy Trafford. I mean, and the list goes on and on, by David Hankins. We haven't had that in a couple of years, and it'd be interesting to see if we find someone who can step into that specialist role as a place kicker and punter.
Right. Well, listen, it's kind of floating around social media, and it's kind of caught on, but the team's mantra this year is the hashtag 1949. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, 1949 is the last time Byrd High School won a state football championship. Byrd has won 7, Shreveport Byrd, I should say, because for those that don't understand, Shreveport High School, they were the purple and gold, they were the Yellow Jackets. The only thing that changed is the name changed in 1925 to honor Clifton Ellis Byrd. So you can't separate the high school. But anyway, in 115 years of Yellow Jackets football, Shreveport Byrd has won 7 state championships, and the last one coming in 1949. Here's a little side story. I had a really good relationship with one of the captains of that team, Mr. John Trigg. Unfortunately passed away a couple of years ago, and we stayed in communication with each other, and he was an outstanding player on that team. And for those that see this video that might be interested and can make it over to school amidst the COVID regulations, if you go out by the library, you can look up on the wall, you'll see the 1949 board with the picture of the team and the record and the results and et cetera, and it's really great. And so I'm glad to see that this year's team and these young men are trying to get nostalgic in a sense, and in touch with the history, the outstanding history of Byrd football. And it means a lot to me, particularly because I'm the one who's going back and done the history of Shreveport Byrd football, so it does mean a lot to me personally as well.
Right. Well, there's a buzz, and no pun intended, surrounding this year's team. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter users, both locally and across the state, have really been praising the 2020 Jackets, during preseason. Many are predicting this may be the team to go all the way. Tell me what your thoughts are on what are going to be the keys for the Jackets to go all the way.
Well, first of all, and this is by no means going out on a limb or some,
Right.
Kreskin moment.
Right.
And for Byrd, it's stay healthy.
Right.
And that's what it is every year. I mean, we talked earlier about 2014. Well, Byrd was back in Class 5A in the Class 5A playoffs after going to the Division I state championship the year before and losing to, unfortunately, lost by 1 to Rummel. But undefeated throughout the regular season, ranked number 1 in the state, into the playoffs, and as we went into the playoffs, lost our starting fullback, lost our starting quarterback, lost our backup fullback, and so we had to go play at West Monroe with our third string sophomore fullback against West Monroe, and it was tough, and ended up losing that ball game. And that's going to be the key, because right now, as we talked about the talent, there's a lot of talent,
Have
but
all
it's
the pieces, just keeping those pieces healthy.
well, it's frontline talent.
Right.
You don't know what you got at the second team
Sure.
or even third team, and generally it's going to be young, inexperienced sophomores.
Right.
And so the key for Byrd will be staying healthy. Now, there's a couple of positions where maybe they could take a little attrition as far as injury, but staying healthy is going to be the key. And, District 1 5A is tough. I know Byrd's already in the Division I playoffs. I get that. But, it's going to be a battle in District 1 5A, as it always is. You got a number of new coaches, Parkway, Natchitoches Central, Southwood, new coaches. And then, Airline, I think it probably has to be the clear-cut favorite because they return a lot, including their star quarterback, Alex Garcia. They're the defending co-champions. Shreve lost a lot. Houghton lost a lot, but Houghton always has great athletes. They're well coached. Shreve still has some great young talent coming up. I mean, Kendrick Law will be back, and their young quarterback, Ashton Martin, saw a lot of time last year. But staying healthy, if Byrd can stay healthy and can traverse this, the minefield that is District 1 5A, and get into the playoffs, you win 2 ball games, you're in the state championship, and this year it's back in the Superdome. So anything can happen. Now, it's a little difficult if you have to go on the road, as we found out again last year, when you have to travel to the greater New Orleans area or the greater Baton Rouge area for the closest opponent. Ideally, you'd like to put yourself in the position to be able to have a first round bye and or to at least host the next round game and make those teams travel up to Shreveport. But it's a long way between here and there. But again, I think staying healthy is obviously the key.
So, Charlie, naturally, this pandemic has had wide-reaching effects, with the limited, amount of fans allowed in the stands, and, people are going to be looking to get their high school football fix. And obviously, radio is your thing, and we're very excited about it year after year. Tell me, or tell the listening audience, how they can go about, what do they do to catch the game on the radio?
Well, the easiest thing is to tune into AM 1130, The Tiger. Tune your radio dial to AM 1130. It's a very powerful AM station. It's been around. KWKH has been around for a long, long time. It is a very powerful, clear channel station, and that's the easiest way. The next couple of ways is to, if you have internet access, to go to 1130thetiger.com and click on the Listen Live button. Our Origin Bank pregame show starts at 6:30, kickoff at 7, and so that's the second way. The third way is if you have a smartphone. Well, let me backtrack for a second, because if you also go to the CE Byrd Athletics website and look up at the top right-hand corner, there's a Listen Live button. If you click on it, it'll link you over to the 1130thetiger.com. Then if you have a smartphone, You can download the 1130 The Tiger app and listen to it there, the Radio Pup app. Or I'd rather you download the Byrd Football app if you haven't done so already. And if you look inside the Byrd Football app, there is a Listen Live button that'll link you to our broadcast, and you can listen to Byrd Football anywhere in the world. We've had people as far away as China and India text me after the game and say, "Oh, what an exciting finish," or "What an exciting game," and we're listening to the game here in India or China, and that just blows my mind, because when we first started kind of doing this, it was to bring Byrd High School and Byrd football particularly to a regional and even state audience, and now, like I said, you can listen to Byrd Yellow Jackets football anywhere in the world.
That's great. Well, just be aware, I'm going to put links down in the description for the viewers that maybe need help finding those, the website and so forth, but I'll put the links down in the description. Well, Charlie, thank you for your time. I think I speak for everyone at the City of Byrd when I say thank you for everything you do. You're a vital part of Byrd football, and I always enjoy listening to your broadcast. I hope you and all the student athletes at Byrds have an outstanding year, and I look forward to listening as we follow the Jackets on their journey to the Dome. Thanks, everybody. Click that like button. Also, subscribe to be notified of any new videos that we post. Thank you for your time. Sting 'em Jackets.